So good morning, everyone. I know we are a bit late, so I'll try to get it brief and finish before 30 minutes. So our session is dedicated on LLMs made in Greece. I am Vassilis Katsouros, and I am the director of the Institute for Speech and Language Processing in Athena Research Center. Together with me, I have three people. Georgios Giaples, he is from kIEFER, from the industry, and they have developed Sophia AI with applications in robotics. Sokratis Sofianopoulos, he is a senior researcher at Athena Research Center, and also he is a co-founder and the CEO of the Layer 42 Labs, a new spin-off company. He is one of the key contributors of the first Greek LLMs that we developed in the Institute. And Panos Achlioptas with us from Oumi.ai. He has extensive knowledge from computer vision, 3D, but also on language and multimodal LLMs, and he's the scientist of Oumi.ai. So before the questions, we saw the landscape. We know the landscape in global stage. We see GPT, Gemini. We saw Gemini 3 now, and all the companies they're releasing every quarter new models. Claude from Anthropic, DeepSeek, Kimi, and many others. This is the setup at the global stage. In Europe, we have seen Mistral. First, we have seen Mistral, one of the companies, but mainly we have seen initiatives from research institutes from different countries. Lately, we see Pertus from Switzerland. But also Salamandra from the Barcelona Supercomputing Center, and many, many others. They are not as big models as the American or the Chinese. They are behind the competition. But we have also in Europe the AI Act that set up the regulation that all the, even the Americans and the Chinese need to comply in. They started in August, but we will have a delay to comply depending on the security and safety and trustworthiness. And coming to Greece, we have started at the Institute for Language and Speech Processing 2 years ago, 2024, with Multiami, and Greek 2025. kIEFER released Sophia AI this year as well. So let's start with questions. I will start with Panos. Panos, from the Oumi.ai perspective, at the global stage, we have seen open, closed models. We have seen text multimodal models. All these models create challenges and opportunities, and especially for a platform like Oumi.ai that supports openness. So what are these challenges, and how do you feel this will empower a small ecosystem like the Greek one?
Okay, hi guys. Thank you, Vassilis, for the gentle introduction. To jump back to the question, well, first of all, we know that we have seeing two roads leading to Rome. On the one hand, we have big models that they are closed and they are controlled by big enterprises. And at the same time, we do see the release of large language models that they are open source. And to some extent, thus we can say that they are open. This creates both opportunity and challenges for Oumi, but also for the global state of affairs regarding AI. In Oumi, for instance, new developers and users would expect that even for smaller models or models that they are open source, they have to perform at the edge, at the capacity and performance of big closed proprietary models. That is hard to achieve. Sometimes we see surprises. We saw something with DeepSeek, etc. But still, it is a difficult challenge that we have to address. The opportunity lies on the other spectrum, which is like now, me, you, and other folks that, I don't know, they are like, so to speak, tech savvy, they can dig into the matters and with open source code do specializations that they can control and build on top of and deliver, generally speaking, good performance as well for specialized smaller subjects. Where Greece sits in all that, I would say that Greece overall is a place with certain opportunities ahead for like specialization. For instance, let's say models that they understand and they calibrate Greek language to a very good degree, or the tourism experience in general, or shipping. So we do have like specializations that they can take, they can be improved, exploiting exactly models that they are more open and more transparent and manageable from the perspective of any developer or even a user.
Thank you, Panos. Sokratis at ILSP released first Multiami and then kIEFER. Can you walk us through this journey and the challenges for building these models? What were the hardest part? Was it data, compute, talent? And what makes Multiami and kIEFER uniquely for Greek?
Okay, hello all. When we started working on these large language models, we, of course, knew that it was going to be hard. Language models were known to us and we have been using them and training them for years, but not at that scale. So when we started our work with Multiami, first of all, we had to collect approximately 40 billion token data. Where we would find them was something that we did not know at first, nor was the quality the one that we were expecting at some times. After we did that, then we saw that we needed to improve things on the original model. So we selected to use Mistral as our basis, because at that time it was the best open source model for its size. And so we used it. We, of course, had to improve things like its tokenizer, because we wanted to make it efficient for Greek and suitable for anyone that wanted to use it. And therefore, one of the challenges was to build all of these pipelines and frameworks that we used afterwards in order to improve the models and to train them. With kIEFER, things got a little bit easier because we have already created the pipelines and we had already known how it works and that it actually works. So we just improved on our process. We make our algorithms run faster. And we needed, of course, to collect even more data. So for me, through all of this journey, the most difficult part was not only the collection of the data, but most of all, the way that we could find the resources to run these experiments. Okay, training a language model, even in the size of 8 billion or 7 billion as Multiami was, it is not that easy to do so. So you need capacity in order for you to be able to run the experiments. And one of our key things that we were looking for was to be efficient. So we did not want to make mistakes because we had to pay them. Okay, running training on machines like this would cost more than €1,000 per day for such a machine. So we wanted us to be as efficient as possible. So the challenge of having machines like this and making them work for the buck was something really, really important for us, as well as the quality of the product. So overall, I believe that the challenges were on many layers, many levels, not only as it comes to data and computational power, as I said before, but even with the team. Okay, we are a research center at heart, so we have other projects running, we have our research going on. So the team that was behind the building, the training, the implementation, all of these tools that were needed for producing these two language models, were also working on various projects as well. They were doing the research at the same time, so we needed to find the time in order not only to run all of these things and make them work, but also to learn as we go on by, because it was things that we had never done before in practice.
Thank you, Sokratis. George, kIEFER comes from the renewable energy and construction sector, but they are deploying a high-end NVIDIA infrastructure in Greece, and all of this powered by 100% renewables. And you're working on Sophia AI, the Greek-specific LLM. What makes building and running models inside Greece attractive and difficult for a company like kIEFER?
Well, as you said, we are coming from the construction of renewable energy sources plots. We have 600 megawatt constructed, and right now we are up and running. And the key advantage that we have from other companies, or for the major issue, is that we have created the environment that comes with Sophia.ai. It's an environment for having all the agents ready to get hands-on. It's a sustainable product. It's not just a model in the hacking phase. It's a product that every citizen that can have access to a site can actually get hands-on and use it. Why is sustainable? It's sustainable because it's a financial affair. It's a society, on perspective of society, anyone can access it, and actually it's environmental friendly. I think the biggest, the major part that Sophia has created is a full ecosystem, and with NVIDIA infrastructure that we are the first in Greece that actually deployed it. We have the power computing to create and to give exactly what we need so we can have the energy, the infrastructure of compute, and then the LLM, and then all the other products as VLM and VLA that we actually deploying. I think that the most, probably the greatest thing about Sophia and the most difficult thing about Greece was the energy demand of, as the previous speaker said, the energy demand that needs to be an LLM trained. And we can actually had this in mind that we can use our energy to success in this part.
Thank you. Sokratis, back to you. Alongside your work with Multiami and Krikri, you are also co-founder of Layer 42 Labs, a spin-off company. So what gaps or needs in the Greek AI ecosystem motivate the creation of this company, and how this will complement the work that is currently doing at ILSP?
Yes, well, this is something new for all of us. So the team decided to move on to entrepreneurship. So we have started a spin-off company based on our work on the large language models of the past years. But not only that, on our experience that we have gained all of these years in the Research Institute and in generally building NLP applications and NAI applications in general. So what we have seen is that actually open source models are on par, we can agree with that, with closed models by enterprises. And in some cases, they can outperform these large models if you train them on a specific task that you have in mind. Not only that, they are even safer and they can be even more productive because sometimes, most of the cases we are talking about structured output. So in our case, we believe that there is a gap between research and industry in Greece. So you have research institutes and research groups doing extraordinary things, but sometimes it is difficult for this work to leave the lab and be available as a product. So we have decided that we can use this as our advantage and provide solutions to the industry, to companies that want to build AI solutions based on large language models on their specific tasks, so on their data or on their specific, let's say, pipelines. So there are cases where, for example, a hospital or a law firm cannot allow their data to leave their premises. So using models even though they are very, very, very well, how can I say, they perform great in their specific tasks, they cannot use them because of the fact that they are cloud-based. So I believe that we can provide solutions through the fine-tuning or even continual pre-training of existing models to their tasks and to their need in order for them to be able to use in their own facilities without the data having to leave their premises. Also, since we are part of the research institute, we have the ability to be able to stay in line with the state of the art. We are always reading the new research being out there, provided by other companies or other organizations. So we know what the state of the art is for various tasks, and we know that we can also have the capability of not only using LLMs for solving most of the problems, because I believe that nowadays people overuse LLMs, so they think that since an LLM can do everything, they need to use it to do everything. So in some cases, we can also provide solutions based on existing AI algorithms or existing AI methodologies that can provide great results created for the specific needs of a company.
Thank you, Sokratis. Panos, at Oumi.ai, Oumi is quite radical and in how open it wants to be, starting not only for the weights, but also data and the whole pipeline, code and the recipes, and the full factory for building LLMs. What does it mean in practice for Greek researchers and startups that a platform like Oumi exists?
Well, at Oumi we have like 3 core principles. Those would be described in words as in like, we want to reuse AI, we want to have transparent AI, and with this reusable and transparent AI, we also need to have like scaling behind it. So, and control. For the first part, and when it comes to Greece or other like small regional players, being able to reuse AI, it's pretty much paramount of importance. Like you need to not reinvent the wheel in any means, but instead start with something that is solid, performance-wise, etc., or safety-wise. Being transparent, also super important. You have to audit and understand what's going behind the scenes so that like you have better safety control and mechanisms that like can operate and modify dynamically per your needs, whatever systems you develop. And last, this control and scalability. Well, we don't want to have like AI that is built and controlled behind closed doors. Instead, you have to have the agency to maintain and scale and basically do whatever you want with the products that you do. So in Oumi, we do put those principles forward. Instead of like releasing just open models, we want to create a community that operates at the level of like sharing recipes, sharing troubles that I have anticipated, sharing data. In other words, the entire factory and process of development has to be auditable and shareable. And why is that important, again, for Greece or other regional players? Well, let's take an example. I want to, innovate by exploring new Greek food recipes. Okay, I don't want a model that like knows nothing about food, okay? So something it has to understand of basic human taste, some basic chemistry, etc. So it has to already understand the standards, and that's layer 1. Then with specialization, I want to be able to audit it after I did some experimentation. So I can see that like the model that is proposing recipe X, it does conform with food allergies C and D. And then again, now that I have my new whatever recipe and I want to go and sell it in our tourism industry, I want to have control over this final product. So I don't want OpenAI or Google to just shut down the service, their servers, and then being out of the game. So I think that that's the grand vision of Oumi.
Thank you, Panos. George, at kIEFER, apart from working on Sophia AI, you're also deploying AI-driven applications in energy, construction, and robotics. How do LLM plug into this world of drones and industrial applications?
we have to understand that the LLM is the middleman between the device and a human being. Not just the LLM. The LLM is the way to have a reasoning model maybe and to understand, and this task can break down to difficult or different applications that can actually take place inside the physical space. It's not just an LLM, it's just not just a model on hacking phase, as I said before, because that you need to have access on it and you know Python to implement it and deploy it. In Sophia, that we have created a way to communicate from the robot, from the device, from anything that you want to do with the human being. So the LLM plays a major part on this side. For example, let's say that we want to do a thermography survey in our parts, in our plots. How we do that? We say to the robot, hey robot, I want you to go and inspect these solar panels because I have an anomaly on my peak view. So the robot starts and said, okay, the user wants to do this, this, and then goes and do exactly this action, which is based on the Sophia VLA. So what we created is an interface. It's a way to understand, a way to use the sensors, because you can have all the sensors that you need, you can have anything that you want, but the most important thing is these sensors to be a part of something bigger. I think that the LLMs are gonna play a big, role on how we used yesterday controllers to today's devices. And you don't have to have expertise. You can just speak to it. You can just talk with each other, and it can just take action. That's what we're representing kIEFER, and that's what we're trying to do with Sophia.ai.
One final question to all of you. Let's move forward to 2030. What would you like Greece to be known for in the global AI LLM ecosystem? George?
Well, by 2030, I think the Greek way, Greece needs to have its first full environment that can actually generate revenue, not just LLMs, not just LLMs from other countries that are fine-tuned in Greek way, in Greek language, and are creating something like a different product. We want to use infrastructure. We have energy. We need demand right now. As we're coming from the energy sector, right now we need demand. We need demand. This can be used as a great opportunity and to actually get access to this demand and create new products. So by 2030, I think a robot or a device that can communicate to any person that wants to communicate. That's what I think is the most important thing.
Thank you, George. Sokratis?
Well, I believe that Greece should be the blueprint for how we treat low-resource languages like the Greek language when it comes to new technologies like, for example, LLMs. So most big tech companies, so most large language models, of course, can produce and can understand Greek, but they cannot produce and understand Greek in the quality that we all want to. And this is, of course, okay, because Greek-speaking people are just 0.01% of the whole world population, so it makes sense. But what we would like to think of is like in 5 years that Greece could be considered as how to train large language models so that your language is capable of all of these modern tasks, and how it bridges the gap between new technologies as well as the cultural heritage. This is why, for example, in our case, we took great consideration when it comes to selecting our data for training. So we actually used a lot of ancient Greek text and polytonic Greek text because we wanted to bridge this gap between new technologies and cultural heritage.
Thank you. Panos?
Well, 2030, I don't know, it's not that many years far from now. However, at the scale of and speed that things are going, who knows what we're going to have. If I could, I don't know, just select what I would like and would be proud to be part of in the country level. First of all, I think that like now we have machines that more or less they do predict and learn from predicting next tokens. That seems a little bit limiting to me. Greece has like tradition and like has set foundations in philosophy and logic and rhetoric among other things. So I would hope that perhaps through the research lenses, we can devise and understand a new interpretable, more interpretable, and perhaps meaningful, instead of just AI that is producing results. So set the foundations of our understanding and perhaps a new paradigm in philosophy associated with the next generation of whatever we're going to call them, LLMs. That would be one thing that I would be happy to see. And on the other hand, look, we are now on a building named after the Stavros Niarchos family. I look there at the sea and the beautiful sun, and I know that like we have like deep-rooted tradition also in specializations like tourism and our culture. And I would like to see new experiences built with AI that augment, shipping and tourism and like the things that like we have a niche and like be the innovators of the world along those like lines.
Thank you very much. Panos, Sokratis, George, thank you so much. Thank you all for your attendance.